Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked. Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked. Yo, 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 yo. We got this skill.
Good morning, Hammers fans. Oh, my God. Sorry about the voice. I was over there last night. It's actually good. I couldn't talk at all last night. It was unbelievable. The atmosphere over there. What a night. What a night. As always, look, if you're new to the show, please subscribe and drop a like on the video as well. I'm going to go and talk about this wonderful, wonderful night. I am. But before I do, for those of you that just want to watch the little vlog, I'm gonna leave you with this. Here we go.
Against Man United operational. What did that mean? What did that mean? Oh, operational.
What a night! What a night! Shame Benny couldn't wrap it up there right at the end. You'd have put money on him to score, wouldn't you? But my fucking God, what an amazing night! I had a good feeling about it. Yesterday. I don't know why. I mean, look, let's face it. You know, we've taken some big scalps this year. You know, we beat Man United. Didn't expect that. Beat Chelsea. Beat Brighton. Beat Spurs. You know, in the first half of the season. I tweeted last night. Everybody knows how I feel about this style of football, but you know, these results that we're getting are starting to make me question everything I know about football because nothing makes any sense. Nothing makes any sense at all. But we'll get on to talk about that and everything else afterwards. I want to talk about the game first. But before I do, special mention to everyone that I met over there yesterday. You know, Bazza and Dave and everyone else. Really, absolutely brilliant meeting all you guys. Lovely chat. Met a dad of the of one of the academy boys in the under-23 as well. Said he's a big fan of the show and surprised. He said they'll watch us. They'll watch us. We are pro youth though, so I'm not surprised. So yeah, it was lovely to meet you, mate, and the best of luck for your boy as well. Like I say, I'm not going to mention any names. Yeah, what a night. It really was. Like most of you, I would imagine, when you saw Ogbonna's name on that team sheet, especially after his performance against Liverpool, we was thinking, oh no. You know, I saw the team sheet come up when I was driving in, and I just thought we're gonna get tonked, we're gonna get ripped apart. But Ogbonna, that's got to be one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen, and I'm not exaggerating. I'll go back to sort of a recent epic performance, you know, of Dawson when we played Leon. He was that good, such a leader. Mavropanos weren't far off him, and he got the goal. But Ogbonna was just outstanding. He really was. But yeah, it was brilliant. Almost all started in disaster for me yesterday as well, because I popped down the shop to grab me missus a gratuitous bottle of wine before we left, and I've come back. I can't find my tickets. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just about to leave. Can't find me tickets, so I couldn't get a train. I had to drive in the end. But anyway, we turned the house upside down. We've gone through everything. So I've gone back and I've retraced my steps. And luckily, it was raining yesterday. Midway to the co-op, I found my tickets stuck to the floor in the middle of the road. So they hadn't blown away. It was all soggy, but still done the job. So we managed to get in there. All was good. And I had to take a bit of a risk because we got there quite late, and I had to park in a residence bay, and they extend parking restrictions around there until 8:30, and we got there around about just before 8:00, I think it was. So I just had to dump it. I thought, oh, sod it, if we get a ticket, I'll pay for it. And yeah, didn't get a ticket either. So I had a bit of luck there as well. All good. It was a perfect night. Yeah, I'm unreal. Honestly, it was. You would have to say a traditional David Moyes performance. He did exactly what none of us want him to do, and that was set a low block. Although I don't think it was so much a low block because our defensive line was never too deep. I don't think it was more of a mid block. We was blocking in midfield. We was solid. They was getting no joy. We was restricting them to long shots. You know, if you look at the stats, and it looks like Arsenal completely peppered our goal. Areola did have a lot of work to do, but he made some good saves. But it weren't like there was any real clear-cut chances, apart from maybe the one at Saka where he hit the post. But when you consider the amount of possession that they had and the amount of they couldn't crack us at all. They could not crack the David Moyes low block. They couldn't do it. So the players on the pitch executed that to absolute perfection. I've said it before. When you play that way, you've got to be switched on for 90 minutes. Everyone. You know, but they were up for that. And do you know what? Look, it's beautiful to see because we turned them over in the cup. That was against their B team, and we knew that they was obviously going to go full strength tonight. And you think, well, that's going to be a different proposition. Well, it wasn't really. It was the same sort of thing. We should have scored 3 goals in this one. You know, if you remember in the game at our place, I don't think we had a shot on goal, did we? We scored with a 0 XG in the first half. It just works against them. They struggle desperately to break down teams that sort of sit deep. And when you got the attacking threat that we've got as well, they've always got sort of one eye over their shoulder. It was fantastic. And Arsenal now know what it's like. What Tottenham have felt like for years, because that game is now a massive derby for West Ham. We look forward to that. The fans do. And those players on that pitch want that. They want that win. You can see it. It kind of, and it starts with the fans, because usually for years and years and years with Arsenal, it's almost like you got that, oh, it's Arsenal, you kind of, it's not a gentleman's agreement. You just roll over against Arsenal. No more. No more. Now you know how Spurs feel. You're going to be up for a game whenever we play you. And Declan Rice had a fucking stinker. You know, you've got to have mental fortitude, Dec. If you're going to do these things and make these decisions, you know, I don't wish any harm on you. But the fact is, if you're going to get rattled by fans, and we weren't horrible. We were just ribbing you. But you couldn't cope with it. You was rattled. You was all over the place. An absolute shit game. The best CDM on that pitch was Alvarez by a country mile. You know, I think he made 2 mistakes. It was his mistake for the first goal, wasn't it? And then he gave away the penalty at the end. But he did nothing of any note, nothing at all. But anyway, this ain't a Declan Rice show. This is a West Ham show. We were fantastic. Defensively brilliant from front to back. Areola was perfect. Absolutely perfect. I saw the guys give him an 8 out of 10 yesterday. I don't really know. I disagree for that one because although we weren't completely under the cosh, he had so much to do, really. I mean, he pulled off a couple of really good saves. You know, it weren't like they was all straight to him. He pulled off a couple of brilliant saves. And, I just think I would have gone for a 9 or a 10 to keep a clean sheet away at the Emirates when you're under that much pressure. Absolutely unbelievable. Completely agreed with Ogbonna's rating of 10. That was he couldn't have been any better. His reading of the game. He was coming out. He weren't just standing there, you know, because Ogbonna, he's a defender that comes out and he meets the ball. He plays on the front foot. And I don't really know what happened. Every decision he made yesterday was just bang on. He just got the ball, last-ditch tackles, leadership, organisation, amazing. You know, the best clip is the one that I missed. And that was right at the end when the game was finished. He came over and just ran at the fans. And, you know, after the final whistle, I wish I'd got that. That would have been a nice way to close that little vlog that I've just done for you. But yeah, Mavropanos, his best performance for us by a country mile, not just because of his goal. You know, that was his old club. He was brilliant. You know, we were under the cosh there. You had to be on it. And he was fantastic. I think he benefited from the leadership of Ogbonna. He really did. It's just a shame Ogbonna's getting old, isn't it? Because that was a flashback. It made us remember what Ogbonna's all about. And he does age like a fine wine, Ogbonna. He has got better with age, but he's getting too old, unfortunately. He's not going to be able to do that every week. And it is a shame because we need someone just like him with those sort of leadership qualities. It was brilliant. You know, Soufal had a really, really good game. He did get roasted a couple of times by Martinelli, but on the whole, he was fantastic. He really was. You know, I would have given him an 8 or 9 out of 10 as well. Mavropanos, I would have given a 9. So Oggy a 10. Emerson, wow. Fuck me. What a player. I've run out of superlatives for that guy. He was absolutely tremendous. He really was. And he's probably our most consistent player this season. I think he is. Most consistently brilliant player this season. He was absolute class, you know. I think it was Saka he had, and so I'd kept Saka pretty quiet, to be quite honest. He was good, and he is relatively self-sufficient, unlike with Soufal on the right hand side, where you can see Kudus is basically doubling up as a fullback. Oh, I'll go on to talk about in a bit what performance that was. Emerson kind of manages to cope on his own. He's a modern day brilliant fullback. I reckon the best left back I've seen at West Ham in 20 years. I honestly, signing of the last few years, and I mean that as well. With all the new players that we've had coming in, what a player Emerson is. Moving into central midfield, Emerson, I'd give a 9 out of 10. James Ward-Prowse, brilliant, fantastic. Honestly, couldn't knock him. He's hard work. He was hard work, aggressive. You know, nicked the ball off of Declan Rice a few times, which I really enjoyed. He was everywhere. His passing was on point. He turned the ball over well when we had it. Because when you play the way that we play there, when you get the ball for the little time that you got to try and keep it and make use of it. And he did that. He was brilliant, unselfish, superb performance. But to the other star of the show, I'm going to go on to talk about now is Alvarez. What a player! What a signing! What a signing Alvarez is. He's an absolute beast. He put in a couple of meaty challenges as well, and managed to stay out of the book, which killed my bet, by the way, because I was banking on an Alvarez yellow card. But nonetheless, that was fine. but he was tremendous. Everything, his decision making, his positioning, his tackling, his even his ball carrying, everything he did. There was one point when we was 2-0 up, he's carried the ball upfield, but then what he did was he just went no, and he turned round and just played the ball back, controlling the game. That's what you need. Really good decision making. Played the ball back to Areola. We played it out again. This is when we was a couple of goals up. Really intelligent player. Absolutely fantastic. Every bit as good a CDM as what Declan Rice was. He is a replacement CDM. Declan Rice is a wonderful player. He's more than just a CDM. But as a CDM, Alvarez is every bit as good as Declan Rice. Every bit. In fact, he's got a little bit more bite and nastiness to him, which I really, really, really like. Future leader for me, I think. Him or Emerson. They were fantastic. Souček had a good game. You know, he had a really good game. He was outstanding, really. You know, still looks a bit confused at times. He always does. He's gonna, isn't he? You know, but no, he was good. So Alvarez, I would have given a 9. Sorry, I'm going back and forth on this. Souček, I'd have given an 8. He was good. But Kudus, I'm going to give him a 9 or close to a 10 for his defensive work. His defensive work is outstanding. You don't realise how much he puts in until you're at the game and you see him tracking back. Oh my God, the way he takes on. You know, you got wingers that are running down the wing, and typically are fullback jockeys. They stand off. Not Kudus. He fucking runs at them like he's got the ball at his feet. He runs at them full tilt and takes the ball off of them. He's aggressive. He body Trossard. He's so strong. I love him. His work rate is ridiculous. And 1 minute he's at fullback, and then I don't know how he does it because he ain't that quick. It must just be intelligence. We get the ball, and all of a sudden he's up the pitch. You're like, what's happening there? How'd that happen? Unbelievable from Kudus. The way he's holding the ball up and everything else. With Paqueta, unfortunately, he got injured in the warm-up, and he probably shouldn't have been played. I hope he hasn't. That could be the only sort of negative to come out of that game, really, is that we've kind of... We've played him on an injury and he's gone and got injured after 20 minutes. So I hope it's not too severe. He did walk off. But he was good for the 20 minutes that he was on. He was holding the ball up, gave the ball away once or twice, but he was carrying an injury. But he was excellent as well, you know, for the time that he was on. Bowen, just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You know, didn't give us too much in an attacking sense, but like Kudus, the way he comes back, the way he comes back and helps out defensively, he's ridiculous. You know, he nicked the ball off of Declan Rice a couple of times where Declan Rice was literally about to either pull the trigger or go. Bowen's just there, just took it off him. You know, we was mugging Rice off. We knew him. We know his mind. We've had him for 10 years. You know, he should never have a good game against us. He never should. Benny came on and he was crap when he came on. He was rubbish, but he grew into the game. This is a guy with no confidence. Zero confidence. We know that Benny is a player that needs an arm around him. He needs managing differently. But Moyes would have been within his rights to hook him off again. He was that bad when he came on for Paqueta. I wouldn't have blamed him for taking him off at half time and replacing him because he was that bad. But he didn't. He stuck with him and he grew into the game. He was working defensively. He did well. It was just a shame he missed that penalty because that would have been a nice way for Benny to sign off because I do think that Benny's on his way out the door. And I know a lot of people like to hate him. He frustrates me, but I don't hate Benny. You know, I don't at all. I think he's been a really good player for us, and I think he could have been better in different circumstances. But for whatever reason, it hasn't worked out. So it's a shame he didn't convert that penalty. None more so. It would have been nice to have battered them 3-0 rather than just 2-0. Would have been lovely, wouldn't it? Because that would have been basically three shots and 3 goals. You don't get much more clinical than that. And there was some controversy as well. When the first goal went in, I was like, what we couldn't see. It was down the other end of the pitch. The ball was just went in. So we had to watch it back afterwards to understand why there was such a long VAR check. And we could see why in the end. And it did look like that ball was out as well, which makes it even better. But they couldn't prove it because they didn't have the camera angle. Got 1 million cameras in these stadiums now, but they didn't have a camera angle that could see through Bowen's arse because he was in the way. But it did look like it had just gone out, which makes it even sweeter. And Souček gets his goal. Just brilliant. Really controlled the game well. We never switched off once. You know, we was fully in control. We allowed them to have the ball in certain areas. And it just worked. It just worked. And then obviously James Ward-Prowse goes down the other end, another complete sucker punch because they're on top chasing the game. And James Ward-Prowse whips in a lovely ball, and Mavropanos, that Greek god that he is, leapt like a salmon, bang, goal off the bar. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It really was. And then obviously Rice gets mugged at the end, gives away a penalty. Benny misses it. But no, look. Credit where it's due now. I'll go on to talk about Moyes. Credit where it's due. When he gets it right, we always do give him credit on this channel. I'm not going to blow smoke up his arse and say I want to watch this football forever. I don't want to watch that type of football forever. I want to see West Ham grow into something more and sort of, maybe be the other team and not low block. But while we're here, while we've got him, if it's working, then fine. And you know what? With what he's done in the first part of this season, I think this is now, somebody put the stats up, this is our biggest points haul in the Premier League season. It is. If you look at the stats, I know the football's not been great. It ain't. I've been the biggest critic of it. But we can't argue it's working. Sometimes it don't, but a lot of the time it does. It's working. We're getting results and we're getting big scalps now as well. Like I said, we beat Chelsea, we beat Brighton, and I sort of toss that off as a one-off, them having a bad day. But then we beat Spurs, we beat Man United, we beat fucking Arsenal. We beat everyone up the top apart from Newcastle, City, and Liverpool. I think so. It's really not looking too shabby if we're being honest. And I'm in favour now of keeping him until the end of the season. Has my mind changed on him being replaced at the end of the season? God no, it hasn't. But he deserves to go out on his shield. He does. He deserves to go. And if this season plays out in that way, then he'll have another opportunity like he did with Prague, where he could have bailed out a hero. He could then, hopefully, it plays out this way. He has a magnificent fucking season. He continues getting these results. We have amazing memories, irrespective of the football. And then we can move on. We can move on to phase 2. That has got to be the best way. I know that David Moyes came out in his post-match interview and said about the contracts, look, that's the opportunist in him. I would do the same thing. At that moment in time, when you look at the points haul that he knows that he's got, and the fact that we've just beat Arsenal, we've got all these big scalps, we know that Sullivan has had no interest in discussing a contract with him. Well, what he's done is he's publicly put pressure on Sullivan to say, I'm happy to stay. He's kind of, while he's got wind in his sails, and I would do the same thing sitting in David Moyes' shoes, I've got to be honest. And he's not a silly man, is he? Let's face it. So he's come out, put a bit of pressure on him to say, yeah, look, we will talk about it, blah, 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 blah. And that set tongues wagging to say that it is going to happen. I still, listen, if we're getting loads of, if we're fucking finished 5th or 6th and they give him a new contract, then that is not what I want. But could I understand it? Yeah, you can. You can understand it. If he's, from the owner's point of view, you can. If we go far in Europe and we end up finishing fucking 5th or 6th in the league, then from the owner's point of view, it's going to make it very difficult for them to get shot of him. But that's where it takes mental fortitude and direction from the ownership. That's where we'll understand whether there is a project or not, because that should take priority over everything else. But look, things change in football. They do. And David Moyes is changing fortunes around for himself. To be quite honest, we can't say those players are not playing for him. They are. They ran through brick walls for him yesterday. They did. They ran through brick walls for us. Those fucking heroes on the pitch. Moyes got his tactics right. He did. But that only worked because those 11 heroes on that pitch implemented it perfectly. We created nothing, but with the few chances we got, we scored. It was beautiful. We absolutely frustrated the life out of Arsenal. And it was a wonderful thing to see. And then to add another bonus to it as well, I found out that Spurs got battered. They got absolutely battered by Brighton. So, yeah, a dark day for North London. Just brilliant, honestly. So, no, I'm not Moyes in, but I'm not Moyes out, gets sacked. I'm happy for Moyes to see his contract out now. I think he's earned it when you consider the first part of this season. Absolutely, he has. He's definitely earned it. Regardless what I say or you say or anyone else says about the football is not great. It's not. But if it's working, it's working. It's when it don't work, there's problems. Hopefully it will continue to work through to the end of the season. We can get our European place. And then Xabi Alonso comes in and continues this beautiful project. David Moyes can ride out to the sunset as a hero. That's fine. let's just hope the second half of the season doesn't crash and burn. I don't think it will. It feels like we're just getting going. I mean, the only problem with it is if bloody Paqueta's injured, because we know we've got AFCON coming up. We've got a bit of a winter break now after Brighton as well, I think. But we've got AFCON coming up, so we're losing Kudus, you know. I mean, Benny, Cornet, and no, Aguer's a miss. Aguer's a miss. Although there's rumours that could be he might not play for us again. He could be going to Saudi. It could be happening. The likes of Fornells, Kera, and Aguer could be on their way out the door, and Benny. They could be on their way out the door in January. So we might not be seeing those players again. And that's why I said it would have been nice for Benny to have scored, to be quite honest. It would have been nice it's always nice for people to bail out on a high, innit? You know? I don't get the hate. I get the frustration with Benny, but not the hate, because I think he's a sensitive little soul. That's all. He is annoying. He is annoying. He's very wasteful. But no, on the whole, that was a 10 out of 10 across the board for me. I've still got we've got the 6 game. I ain't got the graphic, so we'll do that on the weekend. But the 6 game rule for David Moyes and a donkey does still apply. I'm sorry, but what I will do is I'll give him a bonus too. So he got Man United, and I'll give him 3. I'll give him 3 for this win. So that takes him up to 4. So if we get 2 more, that means he's on 4. 4 non-donkey marks I'm going to give him. So if we get 2 more, you know, Brighton, I think the next one, Sheffield United, then the donkey will be off his head. It's in his own hands. It's working. You lot can mock it, but maybe the pressure of the donkey is working. You don't know. You know, we've heard that these people watch these shows, so that's what I'll do. I know that Gary said that he would have taken the donkey off, but he wouldn't have, because I'm in control of the donkey distribution. All right, but yeah, so he's got 4 in the 6 game rule matrix now. He just needs 2 more. Brighton and Sheffield United, not unachievable. Let's see what he does, and let's see how high we can push up this league. We're back in 6th spot, and we're fucking flying. We're flying. We've gone completely under the radar, even from, you know, I don't know how we are where we are. I haven't got a clue, you know, because we ain't been playing well. We ain't been playing well, but we're getting results. Yesterday we played well. That was a time where you can get behind a defensive performance when you defend properly and heroically, and you can understand it when you're playing someone like Arsenal who are that way. The main reason that I think most people have been dead against these top teams, is because it ain't been working. It ain't been working at all. You know, we've been leaking goals, but if we're tightening up and we're that clinical on the counter attack, then fine. You know, like I said, don't want to watch this football forever, but I'll be more than happy to have some wonderful memories like we've already made this season. And like I say, that was brilliant. I was out with my boy yesterday. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I will give Moyes credit. He got it bang on. The players absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant. I'm more than happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you out with that little the little video again. And that's going to be me lot, because I better go and get showered. I'm a smelly Nick. All right. I'll speak to you soon.
Against Man United operational. What did that mean? What did that mean? Oh, operational. The Greek!